All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. And once again, we've got the Paul Chabot in the house. Welcome, Paul. What's up, brother?
Not much. Happy to be here.
Yes.
We're going to try to do this under 10 minutes. Don't hit, pass through yet. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited. Let's go. We can do it.
All right. Let's try. All right. Welcome back. He lives up the street, so you know what? That's how it works.
Sorry.
Just drop in and we can get some episodes done here. All right. A while back, I don't know how long ago, it was a bit ago, you were like, Mark, have you heard this album? And I was like, nope. And I knew the band, but I didn't know the album. So you're like, you got to listen to it.
Yeah.
Got to, Mark. This is unbelievable. So I was like, all right, I believe you. And I didn't wait long like I did with other things. I listened to it. And I was like, yeah, this is freaking good. So we're talking about Boston, fourth studio album, Walk On.
Go figure.
Right. A little bit of history, people will make it fast. Boston, of course, from Boston, Massachusetts, formed in 1975-ish. Their debut in 1976. Perfect album. Everyone agrees. One of the best albums in all history.
Fantastic.
No weak tracks.
Yep.
Amazing. I mean, they could have just like stopped.
They were done, right? Hall of Fame, done.
2 years later, Don't Look Back. Awesome record. I mean, not as good. A few good songs. They toured with AC/DC, Sammy Hagar, Black Sabbath, Van Halen. They were all over the place. Yeah. Yep. Then they took a break.
We were on a break.
For 8 years, all right? That's
Crazy.
important, right? And then they put out Third Stage in 86. Yep. And that one was got Amanda, and stuff like that was right. Yeah. And then
a little more commercial seemed to be, but yeah.
Then 8 more years go by and they put this record out. So that's why 8 is important. 8 and 8. And then this is really quick, but in between those 8 years of Don't Look Back and Third Stage, all kind of stuff were happening with this band. Like they were just like splitting off. Delp left.
Brad Delp, the lead singer.
Original guitarist was fired. And Delp forms RTZ, Return to Zero, with the original guitarist from the band. And they have put out a couple of records. And then what happened? Boston pulls the singer from the band, Orion the Hunter, who has Brad Delp singing background vocals and the same guitarist, right? Yeah.
It's incredibly incestuous and doesn't make sense. Brad Delp, one of the finest rock and roll singers ever, I mean, we could do a whole show on that, is playing or singing backup for Fran Cosmo.
Right. So basically this band swapped singers.
Yes, and then other players too.
These other bands, right. And they also, this band, Orion the Hunter, had the original Heart drummer Michael DeRozier. Michael from DeRozier. Yeah. Anyway, so Walk On, the only album without singer Brad Delp from Boston
up to the date,
to that point. And they've got Fran Cosmo, and they come out with this record in 1994. What was happening in 1994?
Not Boston.
Grab that. That's
Alice in Chains was happening.
Fugazi. I don't know. I was listening to Queens right then. But
Nirvana. That's
Nirvana,
another one
Pearl
happening.
Jam.
Soundgarden.
1994.
Grunge was killing everything
Nobody
that came from
wanted
the
to hear
80s.
Boston without original singer Brad Delp.
Right.
So that's what happened, right? But they put this record out.
So one thing on Delp, really quick.
Yeah.
So he actually quit the band before they came out with the album for Third Stage. And so he was contractually had to sing on it and tour. Like, it's interesting. So Tom Scholz, who is the engineer extraordinaire, genius music guy behind Boston, right?
Yep.
He's one of those genius guys that you hate kind of a thing. And they just couldn't stand each other. And so here's Brad Delp, the greatest singer, paired up with the greatest engineer. Right. And they're like forcing themselves to finish an album and tour. And then I'm done. 8 years done. Then he comes back and says, all right, well, I'm going to help you. Get this. Help you make an album. So Brad Delp comes back and helps Tom Scholz make this fourth album, Walk On, that takes 8 years to finish. Crazy.
Right. And then tours with them.
Right. Which is also nuts
on
because
that tour.
He could have just sang. Anyway.
And then he tours on the Walk On tour.
Yep.
Goes out with the dude who's he like sing his songs?
I can't even think of an analogy. It'd be like,
Van Halen. It would be like if Dave Lee Roth quit but then put out 1984, or didn't.
No,
and then
it would be like
toured, and then
it would be
Sammy
like Michael
Hagar came with
Jordan is
them.
playing the bench for the Bulls.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
Right?
see where you're going.
And like
You're
some other
going
guys there is like, oh yeah, I'll be back up.
You're going even deeper. You're going even deeper with Fran Cosmo.
Right.
Yeah,
It just doesn't make any sense. All right, well,
Yeah.
So craziness. But I was excited listening to this thing.
Right.
Because it has those great sounds from the earlier albums, again, because of Scholes, the engineer. And I'm not too anti-Fran Cosmo. He's not Delp, but I thought that the vocals are very nice. Again, the thing is so well engineered. And I contacted you and said, at least listen to the lead song for me, or what do you call it? The title track, Walk On.
Yeah.
And you did, and then you started digging deeper, I think.
I mean, the album went to number 7, to be fair. And they had a single, I Need Your Love, which, it was not even one of the ones you had.
Right, yeah.
And anyway, this record, you just started playing it, and you're right. So it sounds like early Boston, like the really good stuff. Like you can tell. You can tell when the organ and the guitar does the drums kick in. Like you're listening to a Boston record.
Absolutely.
Just as we talked about this, those side projects, Orion the Hunter and RTZ, had these guys doing it without Scholes.
Yeah, inside joke.
And like,
it didn't sound the same. It's like a garage band.
And I was pretty good with Orion the Hunter, but it still wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like lacking something. It was just kind of mediocre, and it turns out that he was the missing piece. It's Scholes.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so the history on this dude, the history on this guy, though, he like made his own amps and
yes, right, designed his own stuff and came out.
It's just crazy that he's literally an electronic and music genius.
Yes, right.
So
the record,
yes.
What do you like about this record? It sounds like early Boston.
Sounds awesome. I think it's got some songs with whatever. You would hear them on the radio if it wasn't for all these other bands that we pointed out before. They would just absolutely kill that genre, if you will.
Yeah.
And we might be older.
We might be.
And so sometimes you go back and you're like, holy crap, that actually is really good. And there's a few songs that we can mention. Like you did, I Need Your Love. There was What's Your Name, I thought was a really good song in the middle there. Towards the end is I Think We Can Make It, something like that. Again, those are more like the typical poppy stuff, and they're a good listen. For me, I really enjoyed in the middle. There's 4 songs that are put together, and it's really it's all focused around Walk On,
which is great.
Yeah, and it's also got that vibe of what's in the first album. What is the
it was Foreplay a Long Time.
Foreplay, right, long time. So the whole concept of the instrumental kickoff,
going
if you will.
On, yeah, right.
So that's what they do here. So Walking at Night is actually an instrumental that then has a great lead up into Walk On, which could be a kind of a pop hit song, if you will, or it's a good rock song. Then it goes into Get Organized and Get Reorganized, which this is interesting. On the album, this Get Organized is an organ guitar thing, right?
Yeah.
It was actually split. So Get Organized was the last song on the first side, and then you had to flip it, and then you would hear Reorganized, which then leads into the second part of Walk On.
Side.
On the flip side. There you go.
Right.
Nice touch. Yeah. So again, it's sort of long. Here's my problem with it.
Okay.
It's like 8.5 minutes long. It's almost as long as we got.
We're doing it.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. We're almost done.
Yeah.
So I wish they had shrunk parts of it,
Yeah.
because it maybe could have all gotten together and you listen like Foreplay in long time. But I still suggest trying it. I think that's the link that we should put in there that has them all together. Give it a shot. Again, if you're going for a walk or something, I think you'll be surprised at how much the tempo can change. The guitar work is phenomenal in this. There's 3 or 4 different solos amongst all the songs. And the lead singer, again, Cosmo, I think it sounded pretty good. If you told me it was Delp, I would be like, okay. Right. I swear he's on the backtrack somewhere.
Right.
But I love that. I love that.
So go for a walk. With Walk On.
There, exactly.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
And by the way, we didn't mention on June 7th, which is like 2 weeks from now? Not quite.
All right.
That's the 30th anniversary of this release date.
Oh,
June 7th,
1994.
So we didn't even say Wanderlust Wednesday. It's Wanderlust Wednesday.
Absolutely.
And this is it. Your Boston is Wanderlust Wednesday. It is Walk On. You're listening to this record. It's not Brad Delp, but it's Fran Cosmo, but it's some Brad Delp, because he wrote a song on there and he's in the background.
He wrote Walk On.
Or whatever. And yeah. So check it out if you know this one, don't know this one, and comment below what do you think about this record.
Classic, great music from a band you know. and haven't
you
heard
didn't
that
know,
music
and you
before.
didn't know this record, so
Absolutely.
check it out.
Wanderlust.
All right, Paul, we did 10 minutes.
Yeah, but we're good because that 40 is us talking earlier. We're going to do 10 minutes. All right.
All right.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Hey.
Well done.
Thanks again, Paul. Whatever you're doing today, I hope it involves music. That's the camera right
Got
there.
it.
And as usual,
We'll catch you on the flip side.